Bishop a7. Now the thing is, I can actually get very wild here. Do I want to be creative and sack and exchange is a question, and it's actually kind of interesting. Borna can do a few things. Actually, I realize he can play like knight f3. He can also play bishop's game. We'll see what he's gonna do. He's gonna play knight f3. Let's play knight c6. Let's play knight f6. Just keep it simple here. See what he wants to do. The reason I'm playing knight f6, by the way, instead of bishop c5, for those of you guys who are wondering, is that Borna plays c3 and d4 and he can force a draw. So I want to avoid the chance for him to force an early draw in round 2. I kind of want to play the second round to see how it goes. So that's the reason I changed up my move order with knight f6 instead of bishop c5. Normally I play the other order, but yeah, let's change it up. See what he's gonna do. I'm already up a minute on the clock, so that's always a good start. Castles, I guess I'll just play d6. Why not? a6 is also completely fine as well, but I think a5 maybe is the one move that's bad in this specific position. So I'm just going to keep it very, very simple, very solid here. Probably he'll play c3, but we'll see. Also bishop g5 or knight c3. Lot of options for white. So he does play c3, so I'm going to go a6 here. Of course, the idea is to create a square for the bishop on a7. Nothing too original thus far. Let's see what he does. Okay, plays b4, so I'll go back. It's bishop e3. Now I can trade. I mean, there's also castles. There are a lot of different moves here. I'm not going to take, because if I take, it becomes a very simplified game, and I don't really want that, so I'm going to castle. You can obviously trade. I mean, I could have traded too, but I kind of want to make this a little bit more of a game. I don't want this to be something super dry. He plays knight. Now the funny thing is I can actually take and play d5. I can also play d5 right away here, I believe. Think about this for a second. I think d5 is actually supposed to be quite good here, so I'm going to play it. This takes knight d5, and then there are some weaknesses here. There's also a knight f4, a bishop f5 jump. I think Borna misplayed the move order here, so I'm going to, I guess, yeah, if he takes, I have to pre-move, so it's a safe pre-move. Bishop a7. Now the thing is, I can actually get very wild here. dc4. Do I want to be creative and sack and exchange is a question, because I can take and play like b5, and it's actually kind of interesting. If I play rook a7, I have no issues, but after takes, like, he can play rook c1 and it's probably equal. Interesting. Do I go for the gamble here or not? Do I go for it or not? It's a very interesting question. I think, you know what, life is too short not to go for it, so I'm going to take and take. I don't think this is probably right objectively, but whatever, who cares? Oh, he could have gone knight e1 and rook c. Oh, maybe I actually blundered. I think he made a mistake. I think knight e1 takes and rook c1 was actually very strong for him. So we're both just bad chess players. After the game, I bet that knight e1 was actually just winning, so I think that taking was a mistake. Taking was definitely a mistake then, because knight e1, queen c3, rook c1, queen a3, knights. Yeah, that might have just been winning for him. In fact, I think it was. I think I got lucky there. He played the wrong move order. Yeah, he goes rook e1. I'm gonna go b5, consolidate the chain, of course. I don't really know whether this is great or not. That's the one thing. Like, I'm not really sure. But my assumption is I've got a knight and a pawn. Yeah, a4 I expected. I'll play rook b8. He'll trade. I'll take. All very standard. Plays h3. Now I think what I'm gonna try to do is rotate. Knight e7's a move. Now let's just play knight e7, knight g6 here. This isn't like anything special for me objectively, but I don't really think I should be much worse either. Maybe bishop b7 was a little bit better now that I think about it. Maybe. It goes queen c2, which I don't like. Just doesn't feel like the right move somehow. I guess I'll go here, target the pawn. Not sure why I did that, but let's go. I play rook d8, but I think I'm just gonna go queen e6. If knight g5, I just slide over and I'm fine. Just threatening knight c4 to win material. Okay, so he goes knight f1. Now the real question here is, can I actually somehow set this up? Like knight c8, knight e8. If I could get a knight to d6, I'm very happy here. I'm gonna try to put my knight on d6. I don't know if I can actually get away with it, but I'm gonna try. And knight g5, I go queen g6 or queen h. Actually, queen h6 just targets a knight. If I get knight d6, and I should be okay. Point is the knight on d6 guards the bait, guards both these pawns, and it hits the pawn on e4. So he does it, but the problem is queen h6. Problem, because he goes rook g3, but there's actually no trick. Okay, so now what I have to do is find the way to develop. So if I play knight d6, maybe I made a mistake though. Let's see. If I go g6, that's wrong. Knight d6 must be the right move. Knight e3, I can play knight g6 and knight f4 maybe. f6 is no good. I can play g6, although I'm kind of not loving this position, I have to say. But I think g6 and I'm still fairly solid, unless I'm whatever. If I'm blundering, I'm blundering, so be it. But I think I'm still fairly solid here. There's no knight f5. I can play, I mean, maybe I can play f6 somewhere, maybe I can't. It doesn't feel quite right somehow, but I think it's kind of okay for me. Kind of okay being a very key word here, because I think there might be something bad. Yeah, and he spots it. Trying to be too creative here. This might cost me dearly. Trying to be way too creative. So I have to take queen d2, of course. Trying to be too creative. This could end very badly for me. I mean, knight g4 is a real problem. Yeah, this could end really, really poorly for me. A little bit too creative here. Just a little bit too creative. I have to find a move here that doesn't lose the game. That's the thing. It's going to be hard. I play d5. Knight g4 is just a big problem. Actually, is it? Queen h5? Yeah, this is probably just bad for me. A little bit too creative. Just a little bit too creative in this game. Rather than just locking it up the way I should have. If I go king g8, I mean, I have queen f8 and king g7 maybe. I mean, again, this has to be losing somehow, but maybe I can find some way to survive. Probably not, but maybe. Well, actually, knight g4, I do have queen g7 and some knight c6 or something. I'm sure this is lost. That much I'm sure of. Okay, let's go here. I mean, I'm 100% sure that I'm lost in this position. But it's just a question of whether he can find. I mean, queen d6, I have knight c6, queen f6, queen g7. Knight h6 takes king h8, and I somehow survive there. If rook f3, I have f5. I mean, I'm sure this is losing, but again, he has to find the win, and I'm not so sure it's clear cut. Okay, so he takes, so I go here. I mean, because queen f6, queen g7. I mean, you can obviously take, but that's not winning. Knight h6, I just take and I go here. I mean, I feel like Bornik has actually made a mistake somehow. Like, I think White's still much better, and maybe even just winning on the spot, but I don't see it immediately. And if he doesn't have a win right here in this position, like, I mean, if he doesn't have a win right here, he's in some trouble, I think, long term. I guess I'll pre-move. It's a safe pre-move. Why not? So he plays rook f3, which I think, oh, it's a great move because there's knight d7. Oh, there's knight d7. That's the problem. The question is, do I have some way to salvage this? Rook f8. I mean, this must be lost somehow. But again, if he moves the queen, I have f5. I mean, I also have rook d8. Knight h6 takes queen g7, and somehow I'm hanging by a thread.
Sitka's just resubbed for 6 months. What's up, Hikaru, my man?
He plays queen d6 to play knight f6. If I play h6, knight f6. Wait, h6? Knight f6, king h8. Okay, let's see. I mean, again, I'm sure he must be winning somehow, but I don't see the win immediately. I mean, he can go knight h7, I guess. I mean, it feels like this has to be losing for me somehow, but there's knight d7. Oh, that's just a clean win, I guess. That's just a clean win. I didn't see knight d7. Yeah, it's just lost, I guess. Unless there's some trick. Yeah, way too aggressive with that sack. I should not have done that. Let me see. If I move the rook, knight f7's lost. Rook d8. Yeah, this is probably just a loss. Let's take. Go here. Try to just play knight d4 or something wild. I don't know. This is obviously just losing. I mean, I have knight d4 and some takes. Whoops. What was that? Yeah, that's just a bad game. I just got way too aggressive. I mean, way too aggressive with this sack. I mean, it was probably okay. Well, no, it wasn't okay, right? Because knight e1 wins. But I was probably okay here. Maybe not. Okay, I do this. Yeah, bishop b7. Oh, knight g6 and it's still okay. Yeah, because I blundered this trick. Yeah, g6, king g8 is better for black. Interesting. King g8 is okay. Yeah, interesting game. Not meant to be, obviously, but I was a little bit too aggressive after the first game, which I should have lost. To be so aggressive like that, little bit too much. I need to stabilize a bit, but it's only one game. Obviously, it's like 2 draws to start, so not a big deal, of course. But I should have stabilized, because after the first game, which was not good and which I should have lost, like trying to be really aggressive and optimistic is not the right approach.